Hello everyone, welcome back. This is the 15th part of our RAP video series and 6th part of our managed transactional app. Till now, in this particular application, we are developing for the travel provider, where he can see our travel detail. Till now, we have developed the read-only application where he can see the travel detail, and booking supplement detail. That is the three level of application, but still it is the read only. We didn't do any transactional thing. Just revise our initial concept of the business object. When I told you what is business object, then I told you that we will come to this slide later. I told you that business object contain one data model, behavior and runtime implementation. Till now, we just developed the data model where we define the root node and the child nodes and leaf node. These nodes we have defined, but we didn't define for our business object still any behavior and runtime implementation. This behavior we will define in our BDL language, behavior definition language. This is new language for the ABAPers, so we have to learn each and every syntax. So it will take little bit time to explain each and every syntax. So be patient with me, and we will try to see each and every line of this particular BDL. Now let's go to this projection layer, where the processor we are developing. We developed the projection layer in my last video completely using the MDEs as well, metadata extension. In this video, we try to develop this particular two parts. First, behavior definition language, a behavior definition for our BO. So that basically will define this behavior here, and runtime implementation also we will develop in the classes behavior pool we will understand that also, and we will do the behavior definition projection as well. So without wasting the time, let's jump into the system. We will come to PPT again and again, because I know there are a lot of theory things gonna come to understand each and every syntax in BDL. Let's jump into the system. Just create our first behavior definition language and the projection for that particular behavior definition language as well. Till now, we have created three table, three interface view. On top of these three interface view, three consumption view, and three metadata extension file, one service definition and one service binding. Today, we will create our first BDL, behavior definition language. So behavior definition language always we create on top of the root view. We will not create the separately for each child entity, just we will create on top of the root view. First we will create at the interface layer, then we will create at the consumption layer. So to complete the business object at the interface layer, we already defined these three interface. One root view as a travel entity, and the child of travel is booking, and child of that is booking supplement. Like that we have defined this particular BO. To create the complete BO, first we have to define the behavior definition language. To do that, just you have to right click on your travel root entity and create new behavior definition. As soon as you will do the new behavior definition, it will take your root entity name as well. We no need to provide separately name for this particular BDL. It will automatically take the same name of your root entity. And in this case, we have to create the managed application. So we are talking about the managed application, where CUD operation, standard operations are available out of the box. So let me select the managed application. Click on next button, select the appropriate TR and click on finish button. It will create our first BDL. It automatically generated lot of code. Don't worry, we'll try to understand each and everything. Like that, so basically this particular application is the managed application, and there is structure syntax check. I will explain each and everything meanwhile. First, let me create quickly, activate this one, and create quickly the consumption view. Control F3. This is automatically generated. We will try to explain each and every line. Don't worry about that. We are getting a lot of warning also. That also we have to fix. We will fix one by one. Let's create the consumption projection layer as well. So we want to see the what is the result of this particular application as well. To create the consumption view layer, as I told you, we have to catch the root entity. At the consumption layer, what is the root entity? ZC travel taker. So we have to create, click on the right click on here, new behavior definition. It will take the automatically the name of your consumption view, or we can say projection view, and click on next button, give appropriate TR, and this is by default. One more thing, it took automatically projection view. We can create the interface views also. We will talk about what is the projection, what is the managed, what is unmanaged, what is the interface, and what is abstract. These are the different BDL type of implementation. We will talk in next slide. Before going to that, just we are creating the projection implementation type. So click on next button and click on finish button, and let's activate this also. Control F3. So we created our interface view and we created our travel view. Let's understand one by one all the things. First we will talk about this, what is the implementation type. In our behavior definition language, the first statement is the implementation type. Your implementation is managed or unmanaged or abstract, projection or interface. In this case, since we have created the managed application, so we have given managed, but we didn't use the implementation keyword. You can use implementation keyword. Let me show you quickly in the system as well. So if you see here, if I use the implementation keyword, I am implementation, we will get the error. What error we are getting? Well, let me see. The syntax implementation projection is obsolete and can cause syntax error in the future. So since we have used the strict to, it will do the we will learn about the strict in next slide. But before that, since we have used this strict syntax check, strict word is we will use always to enforce the syntax check. If we are doing something wrong which will be not applicable in the future version, that time it will give us warning or error that you should not use this kind of thing. Suppose if I comment this one, Control Shift less than, and then I can see only the warning. I don't see that implementation. Now it is not an error. So this is optional, but when you do the strict syntax check, that time you should not mention what is your implementation type, what you are doing. Instead of doing that directly, you should mention your implementation is projection or your implementation is managed, like that. So this is the use of, this is the syntax basically, I can say. So you can mention this is optional. In older version we used to use this implementation and then we used to give the name of the implementation type, but in the newer version no need to give this particular implementation keyword. You directly give your implementation type over here. That's it. Then what all are these different types? What is the difference between this particular type? You already know what is the difference between the managed and unmanaged. Managed scenario, the framework will handle the transactional buffer and standard business object, standard BU operations like create, update, delete. Those things will be handled by the framework. But and this is again when we have to use manage, as I told you in my previous video also, that whenever we have to develop from something from the scratch, then we have to use this particular managed scenario, and this is also called the greenfield. And second thing, unmanaged, where we have to implement each and everything, this transactional buffer thing also, and the standard operation create, update, delete also we have to implement ourselves in the behavior pool classes. This class, the second statement is implemented in class, this particular class, and unique we are writing. In this way we have to implement all this operation, create, update or delete, or if you want to if in case of the managed scenario, if you want to implement the actions or functions or other authorization check or those all things you want to implement, those you will implement in this particular behavior implementation class. So this is the reason we use this behavior implementation class. But in the unmanaged scenario, you have to develop your create, update, delete as well. And when we use, as you know, when we have to do something brownfield, means the something already available, we want to reutilize those things, then we have to go for the unmanaged implementation. The third thing is the projection. The projection, we have created in the our implementation, we created first manage BDF, and for the on top of in the projection layer we have created the projection view. In that projection view, whatever you are available in your base view, or we can say base BDF or interface view level BDF, some part of we will use based on the some part of that BDF, business definition language, we will use in our projection layer. For example, in the interface layer of the BDF, we have defined the create, update, delete, approve and reject. But in our case, there is two applications we are going to create. First for the approver, second for the processor. Processor should have the access to create, update, delete, so that in the projection layer of the processor, we should give only create, update, delete, not the approve and reject. But in the approver level, approver application, the projection layer should have only approve and reject. He should not have the access to create, update and delete. That we will see in upcoming video when we complete our implementation. But this is the projection layer. Projection layer is always the service specific. Since from here base view we created two projection layers, there are two projection layers, one for the processor and second for the approver. So there will be two different application will be there, and two projection views will be there. For those two projection view, two BDF will be there. So in the projection layer we will be having the some part of our base layer. So that is the subset of the our base behavior definition. Third thing, the interface. It's like we can create on top of our base views, or we can say our initial views, or we can create the projection view. Like same way we can create the interface views also. So this interface views on top of our base view, or we can say in interface GI interface layer, on top of that when we create the interface view, those can act as APIs. For example, SAP provided lot of standard APIs in form of the business object. At the on top of interface view, they created the interface BDL or interface BDL they have created and they have given us. So on top of that we can create our own projection layer and we can directly utilize those interface view, because those, or you can create on top of that any application if you want to create, or if you want to reutilize the data to update the data in the system or create the data in the system, that also you can do using this interface type of implementation type. On top of that we can create our consumption layer and we can do our things. So this kind of things also we'll see in upcoming videos, but this is the again one type of the implementation type. The last part of this particular implementation type is the abstract implementation type. This we will use when we have to do something deep action and function parameter like things type. Basically this is used for the typing purpose. We want to create type, we have to create, that time we will use, and this will be never used for the transactional purpose. We can't do create, update, delete there in this kind of BDLs. So that also we'll see if we will get the time. That also what is the exact use of the abstract implementation type, that also we will see in the upcoming video. You can see the second line is the strict mode. Why we use this strict mode? One thing you already saw that, control side, one thing you already saw that we use strict mode to avoid the outdated syntax. As I told you, if you don't mention that implementation in front of this implementation type, that also, because that is outdated. To avoid, how we will get to know avoid? If I didn't mention this implementation, the strict mode, then I will never get to know this is got absolute. So since I have used this strict mode 2, strict version 2, then I get to know that implementation, if you use the implementation in front of the implementation name, then you will get error, and you will get to know that it is already obsolete. You should not use, because it will not work in your future cloud versions like that. So that is the reason we have to use always the strict mode, and that also latest version. So there is two version available, strict version 1 and strict version 2. In the version 2, all the restriction of the version 1 is available, plus additional restrictions are available. So what all are those restriction can be there, and what is the purpose of this particular strict mode? First, it will ensure that life cycle is stable, upgrade safe, and best practice compliant. Means life cycle step, that business object will be the stable. Once there are two things are there. One is the business object provider, and one is the business object consumer. Whoever gonna consume this particular, if you don't use this strict mode, that is one more important thing. There is something called, we can release this particular business object as a contract 0 or for the normal use, and contract 1 for the purpose of the cloud use. Like that we can release those kind of business object. If you don't use this strict mode, then you will be not able to release those particular business objects. So it will become, since you, why we have to use, because it will become life cycle stable in future also. If some upgrades will come, then our business object will be safer from those particular upgrades, and it will always enforce us to use best practices. For example, one of the example I can say that authorization implementation is mandatory. In the normal, if you don't use strict mode and if you don't implement the authorization check, it will work. But as soon as you have used strict mode, and if you don't define your authorization methods in the behavior pool, that time you will get the warning. And if you don't remove that warning and try to execute your particular application, then you will get the dump. And then you have to solve that. We will see in the system also how we will get the dump in the stricter mode also. And as I told you, we can't use the outdated syntax. And second, version 2 covers the all rules of the version 1. And this is, again, as I told you, what is the advantage of strict mode? It will show all the errors which can cause the runtime errors. All the things which can cause the runtime error in form of the warnings. So you have to avoid those runtime error, then you have to remove all the warning. Then how you will get to know that these things will cause runtime error? Via see the warning. When you will get the warning? When you use this strict mode. So that is the reason we have to use this particular strict mode, and that also latest version. Currently latest version is the version 2. So you have to use strict, and bracket you have to mention the what is the version. And always it will appear at the second line. First line, what is the implementation type, and second line it will be always the strict mode. Fourth line of our behavior definition is the defined behavior for the root entity. It can be root entity. We can define the behavior for the child entities also. As I told you, one business object have the model, then the behavior. Behavior we define in the behavior definition language, and this is our behavior definition document, and we have to write the code in the behavior definition language. In this behavior definition language, to define the behavior of any CDS entity, we have to use define behavior, and we have to write for which entity you want to define, CDS entity you want to define, that CDS entity you have to give. It can be root entity, and it can be other child entities as well. In same behavior definition for particular business object, we can define the behavior for all the CDS entities. So in like same way we have done that, we are defining the behavior for our root entity, and we have defined the behavior for the child entities as well. When we are defining the behavior, root entity should be there. It should be must be there whenever we are defining. Without the root entity, you can't directly, you can't define the behavior only for the child entities. The root entities should be available, and childs are optional. If you don't want to define the behavior for the child entities, that is fine. You don't define, you just don't define here. You just define for the root entity. Apart from in this syntax, we can give the alias name for your CDS entity. Why we are giving alias name? I might have created JI Travel TechM. You might have created JI Travel 1234M. Something else you might have created. So for understandable format, I can give alias name as a travel, as booking for the booking entity, and for the booking supplement I can give as booking supplement. Apart from that alias name, we have something called external name, and this is not relevant to ABAP. Internally in ABAP we are not using anywhere, but whenever we are seeing our metadata extension file, since it is this particular behavior definition will create one service, and out of that in the service binding we can see the service as well, as I shown you in my previous video also. When we see that service, that time in the externally it should be understandable format. So that external format and external name we can define here, that will be visible in our metadata file. Whoever the front end guy, on top of that, whoever using that particular service, they can see that service and the service name in the understandable format. That name we can define in the here as well. That we will also define. Apart from this particular behavior definition statement, we have the implementation in class. So we are gonna defining here all the behavior definitions like create, update, delete, authorization, log, but we have to implement these all the things somewhere. So where we will gonna implement? In this particular class. This we will implementation in class, and we have to give the class name. This class is called, we also call the behavior pool. There are different type of classes are there, we will discuss in upcoming video. So as of now, you just understand whatever we are defining here in behavior definition, we will gonna implement in class, and that class is called behavior pools. In the behavior pools we can have multiple classes. Here as of now I didn't define any class. We are gonna define in this video only one or two classes, and we will gonna implement some of the method as well. So for that purpose we will use the class, but exactly what is the use of behavior pool, what kind of the classes are there, that we will discuss in the next video. Then we will define the entity behavior characteristic and the entity behavior body. In the characteristic, as we define here, you can see we can define the persistent table, log master, what kind of log you are using, what is the authorization you are using. Apart from that, this is the draft scenario, then we can define the draft table, draft scenario also we can define, and e-take master. These all things we can define in the characteristic. And the body, we will define what kind of things you are doing. You want to do card operation, you have some action determinations, or you have some features. Those all things we will define in the body. That also we will see in the upcoming video, one by one, each and everything. So like that, these are the things, and some of the things we have to see here. The root entity is mandatory, as I told you, and in the strict mode, whenever we create the behavior definition, two things we have to make sure: there should be no gap. Suppose we have the root entity, then we have child entity, then we have grandchild entity. Suppose you have defined the behavior definition for the root entity and you forgot to define for the child entity, and you directly implement it for the grandchild entity, the behavior definition. That is not possible. You will gonna get definitely error, and in the strict mode, whenever you use the strict mode. So you should define the child behavior only, then only you will be able to define your grandchild behavior. I hope so you know what is the grandchild. Root, then child's child is the grandchild. That's it. And apart from that, this gap, one more important thing is that whenever we are using the stricter mode, this particular whatever the entity we are defining, this should be CDS entity only. You can't use here DDIC based CDS view in the stricter mode. As I told you, strict mode check. Avoid whenever you use the absolute thing, that will give error. So since DDIC based CDS views got already absolute, that I have explained in the CDS view series. If you don't know, you can watch out that also in CDS series. There you can go and watch it out. And we have to use only the CDS entities here. You can't use in strict mode DDIC based CDS view. Some of the things, what is the use of the strict mode, in upcoming videos also we will see a lot of things. Whenever we use strict mode, what is happening, that the impact of the strict mode as soon as we go further in the applications. So this is all about the behavior definition. We are defining what all are the different part of the behavior definition. Now we will deep dive into those parts as well. Before going to that, just jump into the system again. We'll try to activate our application. We will try to preview the application, what it is happening now, or something happening or not. That also we want to see. Till now we have created our business definition for our interface view and for our consumption view as well. So till now we didn't do single word change in this application. As is, I have generated the code and try to see the preview, what it is happening. We are able to see the application or something else is happening. For that we have to go to our service binding and try to preview our application. Let's see table M and preview the application. It's try to log in. I think I already have logged in. It will preview directly the application. Let me click on, you can see first change, we can see the create button. Delete is disabled since something is not there. Let me try to click on go button first. You can see ABAP runtime error. I can see in the corner, but you might be not able to see here. Some dump occur whenever in the Eclipse dump will occur. You will get the pop-up in the bottom right corner. Currently where you are able to see my video, same place I am able to see the dump pop-up. We got the dump. Now what error happened? I didn't see the values also. So what it is happening, I don't know. How to track back those errors or how to analyze the issues whenever something is happening. So you just have to right click here and you have to go to the inspect. This is first thing you have to do. I already have explained how to analyze the applications in my OData series. You can watch it out. The OData series I explained clearly how to create the application when we are getting the error, how to analyze this in OData in SAP ABAP. A lot of things we have explained. A lot of that, what is dollar base and all those things you can, if you are interested to learn OData, you can watch out that series as well. That is the reason I open. So let me go to the network tab and click on go button. So you can see I got the error. One $batch call happened and I got the error. What is $batch? That also I have explained in my OData series. You can watch it out. So if I go here and I can see that there is some error in the header. The error code is the 500. What is the 500 error code? The error at the server side. If it is some error happen in the client side, it will be 400. So I know there is some error in the server side and I got the dump also. I got the one pop-up, ABAP error pop-up. So I know there is some issue at the server side. So how to analyze that issue? Since I got the dump, where I can see the dump in Eclipse. You might have seen in the GUI, we can open ST22 and see, but in the cloud environment, we don't have any ST22. So to see this error, we have to go to Eclipse and we have one view called feed. So you have to go to Windows, you have to open the show view and something called other view, feed reader. So you have to open this feed reader view. In this feed reader view, you can see all the errors. So currently I logged in as a Technomaniac RAM. Let me open it. I can see the different kind of error. There is one gateway error. There is 18 runtime error occur. This was the runtime error I already know. And if it's something, all the gateway error which you previously used to see in the GUI in IWFND/error log T code, that you can see in the gateway error log entries. And in this time, I know what is the error. The time is 17:10, 5:10 currently. So I know this is the 5:13. So I know this is the error which I have got. So this is basically runtime error, means ST22 dump we can see in Eclipse in the feed reader view, that you have to remember. So whatever the error I'm getting in past also I got some dump, that all I can see here. So I'm interested in the latest dump which I got currently. The current program has intentionally triggered a termination with a short dump, and whatever you can see in the ST22, same thing you can see here. Let me little bit increase the size of this particular view. So this is nothing, the text form of the ST22. You can directly jump to header information, code information, everything. If you read it out, clearly it is saying the source code termination is happened in this class, and what is the reason, that also you can see, handler not implemented, method instance authorization. we have declared in the behavior definition authorization master as an instance, and we got the warning also. What was the warning? I didn't there are multiple warnings are there. One of the warning, if you fix these warnings, one warning you will get that your authorization master implementation is missing. That warning when you put the stricter mode, otherwise you will not get that particular warning. So in this case I got warning also, and I didn't have any implementation for this authorization. That is mandatory whenever you create your behavior definition language. First it will check the authorization, then only it will allow to do further things. I'm not able to read the application itself without authorization. So let's go and create basic dummy method as of now. So as I told you, we will gonna create different classes, so we have to follow the naming convention as well. So in this case I will not use the global level class, so let me comment it out, this one // instead of implementing at the header level, I will implement the classes each and every entity level. So for each entity I will implement different. For travel I will implement the travel class, for booking I will implement the booking class, and for booking supplement I will implement the booking supplement class. So let me copy this one, Control C, and I will define the behavior. I will give the alias name >greater than, as I told you. I will remove this comment, and alias name I will give travel, and here I can give all. As of now let it be, I will give alias name after this authorization definition. Let me give Control V, and I will define the most important thing. When we define the classes, you know, it should start ZCL, and you have to give some behavior pool BP is your whatever you will give in the front end. Might be you are in company, you are using some other /. In the demo scenario you can see /DMO /, or you might be company, you are using different prefix. You have to use your prefix. In our normal scenario we are using the prefix for classes ZCL, and then you have to use for the behavior pool, you must use BP. So these classes will indicate it is related to RAP behavior pool. And again, next thing, you can give any meaningful definition travel _m. So let me use, I'm getting some error. Oh, let me remove this one. This is not required. So I have defined the this particular naming convention. Naming convention is very important, and for what purpose you are creating the classes, that also very important. So let me do Control 1. So I'm getting the warning also, you didn't implement this particular class. What all are other warning? Travel ID should be read only. That is also when we create entity, that time we will get different error, or we will get the dump, and the travel ID is not part of TechCamp. So a mapping definition should be added. I didn't edit any mapping as well. So that's very important. I have to map the fields of the particular, all the fields from this particular entity to our persist table. So in this case our persistence table is G travel TechCamp, and let me open this one, and our our entity is this one. So you can see, but in this case most of the fields I have declared newly. Travel ID, agency ID, customer ID, you can see, but the name is different. So I have to map those fields accordingly. So that I have to make sure, but as of now it is not needed for me. So what I will do, first I will define the authorization. I want to remove that authorization error. So for removing the authorization error, what I will do, I will implement this particular class. Control 1 you have to do, and you have to create the behavior pool. This travel, for this particular travel you have to create the behavior pool. Okay, Control 1, create behavior implementation. The open behavior definition is not active and unlock. Let me activate this first. Control F3, and let me do control 1 and create this behavior definition. And this is the behavior definition I'm creating, and this is the class name, and this is the package name. Let me click on next button, give the appropriate TR, and click on finish button. So it got created. So one thing you might have seen, you can see here, first thing, it is the local type, global type, this is the class definition, and this is abstract class. Abstract class means there might be the some of the method, abstract method is there which is not implemented, and we can't instantiate these classes, but we can inherit these classes like that, it is there. And this is for the behavior of this particular CDS entity, or we can say CDS entity. And in the local types we have the different method implementation. There is one is this is the local classes. As I told you, we will more discuss about the behavior classes in next video, but as of now I have implemented this particular instance method. It is automatically implemented. Let me activate it and try to see the application. Let me go here and close this one and refresh this one. Click on go button. So you can see now we are not getting any error, or we are able to see our application at least. So we can see the travel which we have created in my last video. We can see the bookings. We have everywhere the edit mode is, and we have booking supplement as well. In this case we don't have. Let me go back and let me come here and see any booking. Or this booking supplement is there. Like that we can see everywhere we can have the edit delete button is enabled. Here also edit delete button is enabled. Here also edit delete button is enabled. Let me come back. But the important thing is that nothing is working as of now. Why it is not working? As soon as I click on create button, so I can give the travel ID here, but in this case I didn't define what all are the key fields are there, what all are the what is the early numbering, what is the late numbering, what is the mapping. Nothing I have defined. Even I will give some travel ID 1123 and click on enter, and I will give some date. Suppose I will give today's date. I created already F4 help. Let me give some USD here. Anything I can give. So USD is reliable, so I can give any agency ID. Let me give first one. I can give end date, also today's date. Description I can give test. Let me give some customer ID. First customer I will give. Booking fee, let me give 123. It should be on go, calculation should happen, that we will do in upcoming video. Overall status, let me give open and click on create button. Object is created successfully. So let me come back and let me refresh it. Let me click on go button. What was our travel ID? 1234. No, sorry, not 123. That is 11223 something was there. And let me click on go button. That entry is not there, I know, because that you can see this is the blank entry. Why it is not there? Why it is not there? Basically because we didn't map the fields, so no entry is created or persisted in the database. It tried to persist. There is one blank entry you can see here. It got created, but no entry is created at the database level, so we can't see any entry which should come here. So you can see there is no entry. Or let me go do something like this, one and enter, go. Then nothing is there. Let me adapt the filter and add the travel ID as well. Let me click on OK, go. Let me do F4. There is no F4 obviously. Let me do 11223. Nothing is there. Or 12233, something like that. I remember 11223. that I already created, but it is not available. Instead of that, if you see that one blank entry got created. Why this blank entry got created? Because we didn't do any mapping. So we have to do mapping. Not only we have to do mapping in the behavior definition, we have to do a lot of other things also. We have to do mapping, we have to give the alias name, we have to give the, I think I didn't give the, this class name is also not correct. I will change this class name ZCL BP travel underscore TechM. So it will be useful. Somebody else will give, they can give, instead of TechM, they can give XXXM or 1234, like that we have to give. I think that's enough for this video. Lot of things we have learned. In my next video, we will learn. From here, we will take up and we will try to solve all the errors which is coming during the creation, updation and deletion. Not only that, we will try to understand each and everything which is we have till now automatically generated in the system, like the create, update, delete and create with association. Those all things also will understand in my next video. And what is the authorization? Different kind of authorization are there: instance, global, what is the e-tag handling, and what is the lock mechanism. Different kind of locks are available: optimistic lock, pessimistic lock, both kind of lock we can use in the RAP, and how to use those kind of RAP. Those all things we will see in my upcoming video. For example, late numbering and early numbering, those things also we will see in my upcoming videos. Before going to those videos, please like this video, share these videos with others as well. With that, thank you and happy learning.